I'm Anna and I'm here at the Cat Laughs Comedy Festival here at the Waterfront Hall, and my question is, who is your favourite comedian?
It's going to have to be Billy Connolly. Early Billy Connolly is just the best. So yeah, Billy Connolly, because I play guitar, he plays guitar. I was always inspired by that and the storytelling and stuff as well. So definitely Billy Connolly. What's the most annoying thing that can happen at a stand-up gig for you?
I mean, this is bad, but there's a specific laugh that if I hear, I just go crazy, and it's the laugh with two bits, where the first bit is the laugh and the second bit is a nostalgic reminiscing about the first bit. It's this laugh. I'll do it for you now. Ah ha. If I hear that laugh, I go freaking crazy. What traumatic childhood event do you trace your becoming a comedian back to?
School. I went to De La Salle Brothers for how many years you go to school? 12 years. And I think that would pretty much knock you into being a comedian and being a cynical person. Have you ever had anything thrown at you on stage? And if so, what was the weirdest thing?
I used to do this joke about doing a Ouija board and meeting this fella called Adam on the Ouija board. And I was taking the piss out of him anyway. And a stage light fell on my head right when I was taking the piss out of this ghost. And then the whole room started screaming. We all thought the ghost was there and was really angry that I was taking a mick out of a ghost. What's your least favourite flavour of Chewit?
My least favourite Chewit is Tommy Chewit, who was 2 years ahead of me in school, and he was a nasty boy. At what moment in your life did you decide, I'm going to be a comedian?
I done a comedy course as a dare. And at the end of that course, we had to do a kind of showcase gig. And I done the showcase gig, and we had to do 5 minutes. Obviously, I overran, so I was like 7.5. And I remember realising, just before I turned 31, oh, this is the thing that I was meant to do. This is the thing. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given as a stand-up comedian?
It was very recent, actually. We were talking about how inevitably you end up comparing yourself to other performers, to other comedians. And then an older comedian who's been on the circuit for a long time told me, you decided to start comedy before you met these people. So there's no need to compare yourself, because that decision for you to be who you are came before anything else. And that, I mean, it still stays with me to this day. What is your worst heckle?
When I was like 8.5 months pregnant, and there was 2 audience members who, it's not a specific heckle, but they were just really rowdy and really loud all night, and I had to then be security on stage and get them removed. And as they walked out, they says, "We'll see you later," as they were leaving. And I had to get escorted to my car. No, they did not see me later, because I got escorted to my car and swiftly went home and gave birth. But yeah, that's probably the worst one. Where would you like your last ever gig to be?
I would like my last ever gig to be in a tiny room in front of 30 people that goes awfully, so then I can die happily. My question to the next comedian would be, what is the worst thing you've ever worn on stage?
I think I've worn a lot of stuff. I started when I was 19, and I was like a wee indie guy, and for like 7 years I wore the tightest, skinniest jeans possible, and it was fashionable at the time, but in hindsight they didn't leave a lot to the imagination. And I don't think, it's not like I'm a buff guy or anything with like really nice legs. So yeah, I think a solid 8 years of wearing black skinny jeans was a low point. What was your first gig like?
It was an open mic comedy night that I was brought to, and I didn't know that I was going to be performing. And I got called onto the stage, and it was electric. My first time doing comedy, the feeling I got on stage talking to people and the feeling that I got back from the audience, I was like, I want to do that again. It was like, you probably can't say this in camera, but it was like taking something that you hadn't had before, and the feeling that it gave you, you wanted to take more of it. And that's what it was like. And that was me hooked on comedy, and I ended up doing it now as a career. What do you think of Cat Laughs Festival in Belfast?
Cat Laughs Festival is a really unique festival where top comedians from all over Ireland and abroad come together for a weekend.
people who you may not see that regularly, all top headliners that come and do like 20-minute sets. So you're getting hit after hit after hit. And it's a great way of seeing a lot of comedians you may not see before. You may only see them on Instagram or TikTok, and you get to see them on packed bills and great venues. So it's really unique. It's fun bills, fast pace, and a really, really good crack. And the after parties are always really good fun. I haven't been to any this year though. If you weren't a comedian, what job do you think you would be doing now?
I would be a man who cut grass on a ride-on mower.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, very good in it. That's mindfulness. Just anything, football pitches, school, fields, just, hedges, slow lane of the motorway with the blades up, just me, mower, that's it. And the more I say it, I think, that sounds incredible, I don't know, but I've got hay fever, so I'd have to take loads of Piriton. So sleeping on a ride-on mower is probably what would happen. Is there any amount of money that would make you give up stand-up?
$1 billion. $1 billion, yeah. And I'll never do comedy again. Who do you think is the most underrated comedian in Ireland?
I'm just thinking I have so many mates that do stand-up and I don't want to fall out with anybody, but I'm going to say William Thompson. Good friend of mine, doing great, but when we do gigs all over, everywhere, and tour everywhere, he's always great, and I think he's gonna go right to the top, and I own 70% of everything he does, so that's good for me. I would say, what is your food situation before a gig? Because some comedians are very weird about when they eat around a gig. I like to eat a full meal 1 hour before I go on stage, so I'm gonna ask, what's your dinner looking like the day of a gig?
At like 1 o'clock, I'll have a big meal, like a carb heavy meal, like a sandwich or something. And then before a show, I do dates, fizzy water, and a banana. Anna, what's the first show you ever seen? Comedian show.
Thanks, Kyla. My first gig was at the Deer's Head with Paddy Raff. Thanks for watching. This has been Offshoot TV at the Cat Laughs Festival.